everybody. Welcome to Music Mondays right here with Leela. I am Leela, and this is the Pie. She's the Muse, and we're going to cover a few things that are new with making music today. Sweet times. All right. How did everyone's weekend go? I hear it's cold everywhere out there. That's why I'm all bundled up, is because it's cold where you are. It's only freezing here. Ta-ta. But that's all good. I've got a few people right here in the front row I'm going to say hi to real quick, and then we're going to quickly just jump in. We're going to grab my iPad, we're going to zoom in, and we're going to get ready to figure out what the heck is up this week. Thomas Christ, Legend of Links, Magical Mod, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend right there. Boomer Bass Meme right here. A channel member, always good to hear. Ed Zielinski is in the front row, and I don't see anyone else in the front row, but I see the rest of you out there. You are there. You're in the Lurking Lounge, and that is a good place to be. You can learn a lot in the Lurking Lounge. LLLL. Leela says you can learn a lot in the Lurking Lounge. Woohoo! All right. Right up here is my QR code. You can scan that just to find out. You can find me on social media. You can connect with my Patreon. You can do all the things. So I say, they're coming. Sunshine's letting out. Sweet. Nice. Very, very good. Yes, I see, but there are more of you already. But let's just get into it. I'll say hi to people as they hop in. Why not? Let's let it work. Let's make this work. Let's do the thing. Because we have the somewhat boring part first, where we check out what is new this week using the Beat community. Hello. Hi, I'm in my corner. Got to put my glasses on, and we are going to check the Beat community. It's going to be right up here behind me. Oh yeah, here we go. iOS software. And just so you know, the Beat community right here, desktop software is also contained right here. If you just check right there, desktop, iOS. So you don't need to just be, it's not just my world, it's all of our worlds that are being connected right here. Let's go all the way back down to 1 week ago, which was the 19th. And we'll give you all the news since the 19th. So, starting the 20th, let's just double check that there isn't anything down here. Oh, yes. See, here we go. Polaris is the last thing we saw last week. So, Koshiba, Yukawa, and Kajita by Iceworks are on offer. Those are some really cool apps. They do like gated kind of stuff. Really just fun stuff for EDM and all of that. Let's see how they've reduced the price. Thank you, Thomas, for dropping the link of the Beat community. They're only $5 each. These are. Koshiba's a 16-step gate sequencer. It can transform a sustained sound into a rhythmic phrase. It's synchronized to the beat. It's got all these different crazy filters and LFOs and MIDI controllers. So Yukawa is a multi-tap delay that does the same kind of whippity wow. And Kajita is a 2-stage multi-tap stereo delay with reverb, complex spatial effects. Wow. All right, Zak Sound, ZAK, release RZ Mobile for iOS and Android, a free download. It's an RZ player. Let's see what that is. It's free. It isn't just a remote, it's a tactile performance surface for Races Player on desktop. Okay, so I don't use desktop, but if you do, that seems kind of interesting. All right, let's go to page 1. Right there, page 1. All right, back to the bottom of page 1. Here we are. Audio Kit Pro have updated King of VHS, the VCR synth. It's $4.99, and it's been updated. So if you have it, go ahead and jump in there and check it out. Red Rock Sound release RRS Punch. That is a free download. So Red Rock Sound stuff sounds good. Look at that. Look at this little punchy guy. Attack. Get the knee. With the hard knee. So it's analog channel strip. It gives you 5 minutes of free playtime. So you actually have to pay it for it. So that's a thing. Nerd Synth has been updated. It's currently $4.99. Tweakbench Studio has been updated. It's oddly enough, if you watched last week, it is cheaper on desktop than it is on iOS. The GeoShred range has been updated. Wisdom LLC, they've updated GeoShred, GeoShred Play, and GeoShred Control. It's rebought. Hey, Zach Thong, welcome, welcome, welcome. Rob Jackson releases GR Delay. So let's check out what GR Delay is. I'm sure that Jade is going to be showing us all about this week. Granular Random Delay. Wow, that sounds yummy. Granular synthesis. So in GR Delay, 16 grains of stereo sound created in real time from delayed copies of the input audio with control over the grain shape and delay time. It sounds pretty amazing. So it's not for your average, simple synced delay. It is something special and different. Right on. Let's keep going. Quantum Delay Lite is coming soon. There's a public test flight beta. So if you'd like to test, if you'd like to be a beta tester for Quantum Delay Lite, just hop in to the Beat community, hit this, and you will be connected. I have done so. FingerLab have updated Mellow Sound. It's free and it has an optional update. This is to make kind of a Model M sort of feel. iPad version of Multitrack Studio, that's Jill Brimmer's. That is $29.99. So it's just kind of its own little basically a studio. Rob Jackson does make good stuff. He does know what things should sound like. I totally think so. So Audio Things Hand Clapper is updated and it's on offer. It's an inexpensive apper. It just gives you basically a single sound, but you can add your own sample. So basically, add the claps. You can give yourself the clap right here for $3.99. New 4 Pockets deals available. So these go till the 28th. Today is the 26th, so 2 more days on this. Oh, thanks a lot, Zach. So Neon audio editors for $7.99. Audio Shredder is $4.99. Evolver FX is $8.99. Neon audio editor is a really cool way to record MIDI in your DAW. So that's awesome. And you can also play MIDI in places like AUM. Aqueel Aadam updates Outgrowth. Outgrowth is super cool, and that's what we're actually going to look at this today. So I just updated this last night. It's $20, but it is pretty amazing. There's blank forms work together with Aqueel Aadam to make these incredible sounds. Stem now includes a looping mode for creating rhythmic loops and infinite sustains. There's now a bandpass filter. There's improved pitch detection in your samples. MIDI CC is now properly handled in MPE mode. more natural volume contours, fixes to scanning playback, fixes to preset savings. Really, really, really cool. Like I said, there's 5 unique engines, and I'm just going to say this now because this is what we're going to look at in a few minutes. Hey, Dave Bops, what's up? So Stem, a basic one-shot style player that repitches your sample. Retain is a granular stretching engine that sustains the sample indefinitely, which I thought sounded pretty cool. Reflect is a looping algorithm that loops the sample at a consistent rate across all pitches. Radiate, an additive resynthesizer that maps each harmonic of the sample to a sine wave oscillator. Delve is a wavetable synthesizer in which the sample becomes the basis for a completely unique wavetable. Whoa. So then it's got Subvert. It flattens or inverts the volume. Submerge adds dimensional realism to the repitching. Strike adds an acoustic-like response. Ripple is a tape emulation handcrafted by Blank Forms. And Smear is a pre-ADSR reverb for congealing notes and blurring boundaries between pitch and texture. Anyway, Outgrowth is wicked, and we're going to be messing with it soon. VMPC 2000 XL has been updated. This is great for easy herbs. Ghost Chorus has got a price reduction. It's now only $5.99. Decent Sampler has been updated. It's a free download. You should check out Decent Sampler. GSDSP release Quantum Delay Lite. It's out. It's available as a free download. Let's see what's up. So apparently it's already out, and you don't need to worry about the beta, but you might still be able to get on the beta just so you can check it out. It's a free. So it's basically just your same as Quantum Delay, but it's lighter. It's lighter, softer, all of those things. Howdy, Rhodey. What's up, Rhodey's Jam Cave? All right, I think we are pretty much there. Yep, we are. Let's see. We'll check out my app store so we can see what I acquired this week. I bought Polaris Pocket Music Maker, so we may be looking at that next week. Your new Pocket Loop Factory. Create electronic music anywhere with an intuitive sequencer and deep sound engines. This could be very fun. I got Music 2. That I won on Jade's Patreon. So this one it uses physics to create an organic and unique generative song. So this ought to be really fun. I can't wait to play around with this. Mosaic, from photos to music. Decimate. We used Decimate is an app that messes with. It's like a degenerator for your pick photos. So that's everything for this week. All right, I say let's hop in. Now we're going to open up. Let's go in. Outgrow. Let's go into our Outgrowth. I just start something. This is wild, huh? All right, let's take one of these and solo it. So right here I'm using 2 samples that are from, I'm using a preset that's in the, so you can notice that what the thing is doing, it's doing these pretty things. Rainy Cityscape Blade Runner vibe. Let's do another take of the part where I get treats. It does look as though she's looking for that. Here you go, sweetie. So as you can see, what we're running here is we're running Waymaker. Waymaker is giving us every 4 bars. It's giving us like a whole note. And then it's just changing lightly. We could set it up so that it changes a little less, so that it comes a little more often. Let's go 2 bars. Now we'll have some sound every 2 bars. So what we've got in here now, oops, my engines. So this is a thing called Barely There. It's a pad. But let's take and make sure, well, first we'll make sure this is saved. We go to User, we save new preset, and then we're just going to call this something pad. Why does this always do this? I'm going to grab my... There we go. Ha! So this is called Shimmer. I'll call this Shimmer. And we'll save the preset with its sample. So I'm not going to go crazy with this. You can do so much more with this than... And Jade showed us. I just love the sound. It's really beautiful. Whoa, whoa. I'm going to see. We should find out. Hey, Time Man, what's up? We should find out exactly what Jade is up to this day, because that's where we're going next. Haha. I'm just double checking. Just double checking that we're going where we should. Hopefully I already killed the... Sounds beautiful, doesn't it? Yes, we need to add a redirect because there was nothing up for Jade when I created this. So it could be very well, it could be GR delay. Nope. Might as well get this done. Pro C3. Yes. Nope. Ha! Everybody's. Maybe it's Pure Nylon. It is. So we're going to look at Pure Nylon by Sonora Cinematic after this. No worries, friends. No worries. Here we are. All right, let's get going with this. I've got our, here it is. This is the manual right here. So here's your user interface right up there in the number 1 here. This little wheel is the settings. This is where all the global configuration, including default settings. The engine is number 2. This is where you select which engine. So this is those 5 things that we talked about before. Engine controls, these are the unique controls available to each engine. So see right here, these 2 bits right here, these 2 sliders are different depending on what you put in number 2 here. So then 4, presets is where you can save your own presets. You can save them with only the settings, or you can save them with all the samples as well. So whoops. So 5, this is a visualization of the samples that have been loaded that activates. You can see, you could see it. In fact, let's whip over to that other thing. By the way, I'm using this external keyboard and I'm pressing Alt-Tab and it's sending me right back to where we were. So right in here, I'm in I used Alt-Tab and now we're back in AUM with this, and now you can see how the sample is giving you, it's going twip, 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 twip. It's like walking across it. Very cool. Okay, back to the manual. So number 6 down here where it says subvert, strike, submerge. Now that is audio effects. These handy effects allow you to further manipulate samples. Okay. 7 is where the whoops. Let's do that again. 7 here, where you can, this little samples engine, let's hop over there and I'm going to tap samples now. See, tap samples, and look at that. Here's all, it identifies what your root note is. It tells you where your range is. It gives you a volume. You can pitch adjust it. You can trim the sample, and then you can go round. Your playback mode is round robin. But then there's stacking, scanning. Let's hold it down. When multiple samples are assigned to the same range of notes, playing with this range will rotate through the sample options. So stacking, when multiple samples are assigned to the same note, all samples will be heard at the same time. This uses one voice for samples, so this can effectively reduce your maximum voice count. So scanning, the relative volume of samples is controlled by the sample scanning control. This uses one voice for sample, so it can also reduce your maximum voice count. So it's still on round robin, and we've only got one sample in here anyway. A foot of snow for Thomas. Oh, that's crazy. All right. Back to our, oops. 2 books. There we go. So 7, now 8. 8 is up here. And we'll go back over here. 8 is modulation. There's a whole big menu for that. Outgrowth modulation matrix, and that is fun to play around with. The volume right here. It sets your range of volumes. ADSR sets the attack, decay, sustain, release envelope for manipulating the contour, the volume, and filter of Outgrowth notes. In addition, there are 4 presets available for quickly setting the ADSR, which is a pluck, which is a percussive pluck with a fast attack and decay. Keys is a piano-like envelope with a longer decay, sustain, and release. Sunshine, what's up? Pad is a gentle envelope with slower stage settings. Flat is a neutral all or nothing. Yes, the sunshine lurks. Yes, I could write something about that. Haha. Okay, let's just quickly look at what these engines are, and then we're going to load a sample and mess with the engines. So stem is the most basic of Outgrowth engines. It's repitched by a play speed from its original tone in order to play a certain note. Repitching a sample will also change its duration. So if you play a sample an octave higher, it'll be half as short. As a result, stem is unique among Outgrowth engine in that a sample may run out of content before a note is intentionally released by the performer. It has 2 primary controls, start and end. These set where playback will begin and end within a sample. If the end is set to be before the start, the playback will reverse. What? That's so cool. As playback approaches the end of the sample, Outgrowth will automatically transition its ADSR to the release stage in order to maintain a consistent release behavior across all notes. Furthermore, stem has 2 playback modes, once and loop. In once mode, the sample will simply be played from start to end and then cease. In loop mode, the sample will play from start to end and then loop back to start. Additionally, there's a crossfade option to control how sharp or smooth the loop boundaries are. All right, let's go over there. Now we're in AUM. Let's take this thing and we're going to go to factory, and then we're just going to be load and clear samples. So now we're at lurking with sunshine. Oh. All right, drop samples or tap to load. We'll tap to load. So I'm going to go in. This is just, I just have a bunch of really random stuff in here. I'm not kidding how random the stuff is that's in here. And that's how we're going to have some fun. Because it's going to be like, what? There's so much weird stuff in here. And all we're going to do is we're just going to make the wildest something. Let's find out. Twisted drums, soundbox packs, trumpets from Mars. Let's check our trumpets from Mars. We got death ray trumpet, cloud, and see all the weird notes that are in there. Let's try dusty trem trumpet, G2. Well, what happens? Can we put 2 in there? Look, you can put more than one sample in there, but let's just put 1 in for now. Now we have a dusty tremolo, and because it's on still, wow, see? Now we're having every couple things, yeah, see? It's just pitching. And here we are, it's in stem. Changing nothing but stem. Let's just play around. So we've got stem. Let's change the start. So see, there's the start. Hugh Caldwell, what's up? We change, now we see, now everything is right in here. See, very different. And now let's hit loop. That's way different. Wow, that's wild. Let's go back to once just for fun so we can play with some of these other things. All right, going back to our manual, let's play around. So subvert modifies the volume throughout the sample. Outgrowth will analyze the loudest and softest parts, which subvert can then manipulate. At 0%, the volume of the sample will be entirely unaffected. As the control nears 50%, the volume of the sample will be completely flattened, such that the volume at any point in the sample is equivalent to every other point. It's like a very aggressive compressor. And if you go up to 100, the quiet parts will be the loudest. Oh my gosh. So let's subvert the hell out of this. Now look at that. Look at that. You can see? Look at that. Looking at it, you can see how it looks so weird. Let's put it past. See, now it's reversing. Now we'll hold down strike. Strike adds performative realism to sample playback. Let's try it. Hey, Jeremy, Strings and Pucks. That's interesting. I like the subvert. Okay, submerge rebalances the spectral content. Let's submerge the shit out of it. See, you can see what the actual. See, that's very different, right? Let's look at our sample and see what it does. It says G2, so it matches, which means that it's now correctly pitched. Let's hold down this ripple. Ripple is a loose tape emulation that ages the signal. Let's hit the ripple up. Wait. Ooh, that's different. Now, smear is a lush reverb placed before the ADSR. Let's smear it. You can hear that echo. Let's hit it. Let's go. It sounds much smoother. Now filter, this is the base frequency of the per note filter before modulation or effects. It ranges from 0. Let's like play with this when it's going. Your filter, see, here's your filter controls. This is a low pass filter. You can turn your resonance up. Key tracking is how much the filter frequency changes based on the note played. At 0%, the filter frequency is not affected at all. At 100%, the filter frequency follows the frequency of the note exactly. So I have it at like 51. Envelope is how much the filter frequency is changed by the primary ADSR. Let's give it a little envelope. Feedback is how much the audio signal modulates the filter frequency. Quiet, wild. See, that sounds really different. This is the overall volume of the output. We'll leave that. We're going to kick our attack time up. Now I'm going to move back here and we're going to set this so that it goes more often. There we go. Now it's faster. So now you can change. Here's the pluck. Here's your keys. Here's your pad. Oh, that's nice. And here's flat. But I like to take my attack up a little bit. Let's sustain. We'll let the release out a little bit. All right, now this is all with just this first thing, stem. So now we're going to go to retain. Retain uses granular synthesis to sustain samples indefinitely within user-determined boundaries. Let's hop over to books and we'll find that. Here we go. Retain. It sustains samples indefinitely. Each note will play back an unaffected portion of the sample before transitioning to a window within which granular synthesis will sustain the sample indefinitely. Retain has 4 primary controls: playback start, window width, and grain count. So there's more stuff there. Playback start sets where the notes will begin playing from within the sample. This can be used to ensure that an initial onset or transient of a sample is maintained before sustaining the sample. Hey Denise, what's up? Window start and window width control the window within which granular sustaining is performed. Once playback reaches this window, it will automatically transition into a granular synthesis, which plays back small sections indefinitely. All right. If the playback start is after the window start, then retain will immediately start granular synthesis. Okay, let's head over and change it to retain. It's going to change now. There we go. That sounds way different. Now we change our... So change like I moved the playback, see? It's right over here. And then the window start. That's where the sustaining, so you can move the sustaining out over here. And then you can make your window really wide or you can make it really small. You can, this is the number of grains. Now we have 2 grains, 3 grains. That looks like it's the highest it goes right here. Now it's just kind of screeching. This is your original. Submerge, remember? Let's turn the ripple way up. Yeah, that's cool. I like the filter. You can smear the hell out of it. There we go. That sounds wild! Oh my gosh. That is insane. I'm gonna give this, I'm actually gonna save this. So let's go to user, save new presets. We'll type in the name. I'm gonna call this Dusty Cave Trumpet. So save preset and loaded samples. Yeah, this is wild. And how we haven't even changed it. So let's find out what reflect does. Reflect is a looping algorithm in which sections of the sample will be looped while notes are held. Reflect will repitch a sample as needed to play a particular pitch, but it will then loop a section of the sample. Each note will have a loop that is the same length as one another in spite of repitching the sample, leading to a unique experience in which all notes will loop within the same time frame. So it has 3 primary controls: start, point, length, and loop repeat mode. So ping pong, forward, reverse. So let's go back over here and change it. All right. So we just moved the window length up. So now that changes. And you can change, see if you can see it moving in a ping pong fashion. It's moving back and forth rapidly. Whoop, 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 whoop. That is crazy. Now, as you can see, this little asterisk. Hey, Gary Hubs, what's up? So you can just take this now, and you can. Let's bring the ripple down. Bring the smear down. Let's bring that up. Like a little less. See, this is pretty wild. But now let's try to mess with some of the modulation. So here's your modulation right here. Whoa. So look at all this stuff. You know what I like to add? So let's add a destination to this plain LFO. It just says reflect window size, reflect. So it gives you specific ones. But let's go to filter frequency. Now you can see immediately that their filter frequency is moving. And this is in seconds, every 5 seconds. We're gonna morph it by 10. So let's sync it. Now in the quarter note, let's do half note. Now see, the filter is going up and down. Now this, you can drag to, let's jitter something. Let's jitter this smear. Watch, we'll just drop it on top. And now look, the smear is messing up. And let's smear it a lot. Change the smearing a bunch. Okay, we're jittering the crap out of that. Let's take the speed down. Whoa. How cool is that? I love that. Now we can actually go in and let's watch. Delete all samples. Well, can't hear it all anymore. So let's add a sample now. Let's add a different trumpet. Eternal sleep trumpet. It's the same note, so. See, this one's way different. So you can change your start point. So this is the reflect setting, remember? Repeatedly plays back a section of the sample for rhythmic or pulsing outputs. Let's add our other sample back in. Add sample. Let's go back to this other G2. Where was it? Dusty tremolo trumpet. And let's stack them. So now you should be able to hear them both. So you can change it a lot just by changing small things. Let's change it to forward. It sounds different. Reverse. That's different. All right. Now we're going to use radiate. We'll tell you first what radiate is. Let's turn that down just a smidge. All right, reflect, radiate. Radiate is a resynthesis algorithm. Rather than play the original sample, radiate will analyze the strongest frequencies and create an additive synthesizer composed of sine waves tuned to those frequency relationships. If you hear a bunch of 400 hertz and 800 hertz, it will assign two sine waves where one is always double the frequency of the first. Radiate has 4 primary controls: partials, cross mod, start, and window. Partials divides the number of sine waves used to resynthesize the original sample. Partials can range from 1 to 25. Cross mod introduces some amplitude modulation. Each sine wave will modulate all the others and in turn be affected by all the others. All right, let's go to radiate. There we go. Wow. That's very different. Now we've got these modulations are still running. So we've got the partials down to 1. And there's 25. So here's your cross mod. Wow. That does add complexity. I like 16. There we go. Doesn't look like you can change. You can't really change that. You can't change subvert, but you can change strike. You can change submerge. Whoa. Submerge is cool. Ah! I just sent my keyboard somewhere. Hope I don't need it again. So let's take this ripple. Ooh, yeah, listen to the ripple. It's high. We've got our, let's take our smear up a little and it'll be smearing differently. Oh my God, this just sounds so yummy. Let's modulate something else. See, you've got all of this down here. Random per note, primary ADSR envelope. There's just tons of stuff in there. It hurts your brain. It sounds like a trumpet on Jupiter. Let's save this. Let's save this too. This sounds like a save new preset, and we're gonna save it with the loaded samples. So this is trumpet choir. I'm gonna call this trumpet choir. Only I'm gonna have to find my. There it is. Haha. I was looking all the way underneath my desk. So trumpet choir. Whoops. It sounds like a choir. So you could literally have the same 2 samples. I know, everything you put in sounds awesome. So let's change this. Now we're going to change this. We're going to go find this. Load with samples. Now see? That's how this one sounds. These are the same samples, you guys. Now we are in D minor. We're in D minor. So let's same this up. We're gonna move it, and now we're just gonna use this, and we're gonna make something. I'm gonna add some launch pad, because you know launch pad makes it easy to add stuff. And of course I don't have time to do the Samposium. We'll have to do Samposium another time, because I really like Samposium. I kind of didn't think that I would get to it, but I decided to throw it in there anyway. So Thomas says right here, get Outgrowth on the App Store. It is so cool. All right, we're going to make sure we have a launch pad here, and then we're gonna go and we're gonna reset it back in, and just in these last few minutes we're gonna play around. We're gonna get something awesome. Back to AUM right here, reload, boom. So all we need to do is hop in. Let's do search for something cinematic. Right here, cinematic is what this sounds like. Ascension. Nope. We want something that's got a small... Here we go, Rapture. Alright, we're opening up Rapture. I hate it when that happens. But I just keep doing... This app can be a super pain, but it is also pretty amazing. It is absolutely worth the trouble that it causes me. There we go. Now we're gonna hop in. We're gonna put it in D minor. And this is, see, 20 beats per minute slower. Now we're gonna go. Now we added... just sounds like something out of a scary movie. Nice. And then you could do something different. So you hear that. It's just all this wildness going on in here. Or you could just be masquerade. Ooh, there we go. Now we'll do a different one. Here we go. Whoops. This sounds very wild. So right there, you got Outgrowth. Let's solo it. That's your Dusty Cave trumpets. Let's go back and change this to something else. This is Radiate. Wow, that's nice. Right? It's insanity. It's so cool. So just even, you don't necessarily have to use, okay, let's see what happens when we press stop, because a lot of times that's what gives you a vibe. Yeah, listen to those sounds just kind of roll out like that. That is gorgeous. I love this. So Outgrowth, you can use all those samples, all those weird samples you've got, and you can find a way to make them sound amazing. Right here with Outgrowth, only $20. Yeah. All right, so next up, we're going to have Jade Star is going to be playing around with Sonora Cinematic Pure Nylon. It's going to be really awesome. And then, of course, the usual Monday afternoon, evening stuff. It's going to be Pete Johns with GarageBand Weekly, if I'm not mistaken. And then the Community Pulse with Frank Terzo, and I forget who's on this week. And then after that is Vince Janella and his Monday night guitar thing. And tomorrow, it's not up yet, but tomorrow is the very first midweek chill. So that's going to be fun. And all week long, we've got amazing stuff. Just tune in. Just keep on tuning in. DJ Big Red puts up a list every day. That will help. All right, I'm going to say goodbye to you with my facey face. If you were listening to Sunshine, you'll know what we mean. Ah, it's my facey face. All right, guys, it's been amazing. This was so fun. I am going to go back to my own little lurking lounge now, and we are going to make music and have fun all week long. I will see you later on at the shows and back here again tomorrow at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Right on. Big love. And all the peace that you can carry into your day, my friends. Bye-bye.